Hi, welcome to the Urban Outdoorsman SoCal video. My name is Danny Milton, and in today's video, we're going to be getting ready for the upcoming 2022 TAC season. If you don't know what TAC is, it stands for Total Archery Challenge. It's a group of individuals who take a bunch of foam targets all around the country. They go to all of these different ski resorts, Texas, Colorado, Oklahoma, Michigan, all over the place, and they set up these great 3D targets for, bow hunters like me to go and practice and, shooting at foam targets and just having fun. So I'm going to be going through everything that I do to get ready for the new TAC season. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my bow setup, the bow that I'm shooting, all of the equipment that I have on it. You guys will see some B-roll in the background here of just all the equipment that I have on my bow. Then I'm going to go over the arrows I shoot, the reason why I shoot a lighter arrow. I'll show you, the make, the manufacturer, all that kind of stuff. The straightness that I shoot, the vane configuration. No guess, I use Nock On vanes. So I'm also going to show you guys some of the stuff that I take, or the equipment that I take out onto the courses with me. This is going to be my second season doing TAC. Last season I did the Texas event, the Montana event, and the Utah event in Snowbird. And I just want to share with you guys some of the things that I like to take out with me on the course, just to make it that much more enjoyable. Okay, so the bow that I'm using is the PSC Drive NXT. I purchased this bow last year and I've done some shooting with it. Some of the other components I have on the bow, which is new since that Utah event, is I switched to the axle landslide. And for the actual housing, I'm using my old Spot Hog housing off of my old site. I'm also using the Nock On arrow rest. I like that arrow rest a lot. It's really, micro adjustable left and right, up and down. I also have John Dudley stabilizers. They're the Ridden stabilizers. I believe it's a 12-inch stabilizer in the front and a 10-inch stabilizer in the back. So I also use a bow quiver to carry my arrows. I'll typically only have 1 or 2 arrows in there. I don't want to weight the entire thing down with 5 arrows. I want my bow to be as light as possible. So typically I'll just have a couple of arrows in that bow quiver, and then I'll have a bunch of arrows wrapped up in my backpack in case I need them. Hopefully I don't. Hopefully I won't have to go through more than 1 or 2. Hopefully just 1 arrow for the entire course. So far I really like this setup. I haven't had a chance to actually use it at a 3D event, this full setup, yet. So going out to Texas this season is going to be my first chance to use it. So my arrows are the Victory Rip 204s. These are the Elite 300s. These are the V1 straightness. Pretty light arrow. I'll put how much these weigh on screen right here. Just using the Nock On arrow tips right here. These are 100 grain arrow tips. And of course, using the Nock On vanes. These are the PM 2.0s. These are a very low profile vane. I do use a 4-vane configuration. Just small, tight windows. That way the smaller vanes are going to have a little bit less wind drag, right to lefts, on those windier days. All right, so this is the pack that I use. This is the Sitka vinyl harness. It does have these 2 extra pouches on the sides here. In the main compartment, it flips up. It's magnetic, which is nice. It holds it in place. I've got my Vortex. I run the 12x50s. These are the Diamondback HDs. You have 2 little side pockets here. I'll usually keep like a pen, maybe some chapstick. On this side, you have the main compartments, and you also have these little front parts here. So I normally keep my release in that side in the front. This main pocket here is where I keep my rangefinder. This is the Leupold RX Full Draw 4. Great rangefinder, super fast. You can do a bunch of extra settings as well to match it up to your bow speed and your arrows. And then on this side, I'll have usually some extra tools, an extra release, some rangefinder tapes in here. Also have some extra points and knocks just in case one of those gets bent, or someone shoots out one of your knocks while you're on the course. And then on the back side of the pouch here is a little zippered pocket, so if you want to keep like your driver's license, any credit cards, or if you're out hunting, you can keep your tags back there as well. One of the other great things about this pack is that these two side pockets come off and there's actually molly webbing underneath it. So if you wanted to change out one of these pockets here and put a gun holster, you know, when you go hunting, that'll work as well. And then this is the release that I use. This is the Carter Wise Choice. This is the 3-finger model. I do have a bunch of grip tape on here. I'll show you a close-up of that really quick, just to give you a little bit more texture. You know, the actual finish itself is a little bit slippery, so if your hands are getting, you know, hot or sweaty, anything like that, the little grip tape adds a little bit extra texture. Also have the big brass knob on here just to add some overall weight to the entire release. Feels really good and has been working really well for me. I typically take a backpack with me. You know, you're gonna be out on the course for anywhere from 2 to about 4, maybe even 5 hours, depending on if there's a spot that's getting backed up, if it's just very hard hiking up and down the hills and going to get your arrows, stuff like that. Typically in that backpack, you know, I'm gonna have some tools, I'm gonna have some water, I'm definitely gonna have some snacks. Like I said, you're gonna be out there for a while, so depending on the temperature, you know, if it's a really hot day, you're gonna wanna have plenty of water with you. Most of the time, there's gonna be a spot somewhere on course where they're gonna have water, but you have no idea where that could be, and it's just better to have all of those kinds of things with you. Even if it's a cloudy day, you will get sunburn, especially that upcoming event in Texas. I'm sure it's gonna be really hot. Definitely put sunscreen on. You don't wanna come back, you know, you don't wanna get back to the area looking like a lobster and be totally ruined for the next day. All right, so now that we've gotten all that stuff out of the way, let's actually talk about what I'm gonna do to get my bow ready. One thing I'll also say is I am not a professional. I overdo everything. That's why I go through all of these different systems to make sure that my bow is shooting as best as it can. We'll go through, you know, I'll balance the 2nd and 3rd axes. I'll do the paper tune. I'll also do the walk back tune. And then I'll come out to my local place here at El Dorado, make sure I have a proper sight tape that matches up with my arrows and my draw weight. You know, I've done a video on how to sight in the Fast Eddy. You can click that link right there. You're gonna be shooting at a lot of targets that are gonna be, you know, downhill from you and uphill. And if that 3rd axis is off, you're gonna be shooting either left and right, and it's just not gonna be a very fun day. The next thing you wanna do is practice shooting long distance. Once you get used to shooting at 80, 90, 100 yards, when you go in for that 40-yard shot, it seems so easy because you're so close to the target. You're just gonna be hammering 10s on those really short ones, and then hopefully comfortable enough when you get to those long shots that you're at least hitting foam, if not hitting those 10s. And the last thing I would recommend is do what I did. Go to John Dudley's website, the Nock On Archery website. He has so many videos on how to shoot your bow properly, how to compensate for wind, how to set up your arrows, how to set up your bow, all of these different videos. I mean, I've watched hundreds of hours of his videos, and that's basically how I learned how to shoot archery myself. Once you've watched all his videos, definitely support him. You know, buy some merch, buy t-shirts, buy some of his equipment, buy some of his arrows, all that kind of stuff. That way he can make a living and continue to give out all of this free information. And last but very not least is time to do some shooting. All right, so after you've shot, I don't know, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 arrows, you'll probably be ready for TAC. I'm gonna be shooting all this month. The TAC for me, the Texas TAC, is gonna be at the end of this month, so I got about 3 weeks to prepare. Probably shooting anywhere from 50-ish arrows a day, probably 5 days a week heading up to there, getting everything all lined up. Other than that, just get out there and shoot, and hopefully I'll see you in TAC. If you see me out on the course, you know, give me a high five, maybe we'll have a beer after. So that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you do all that fun stuff for me, please. Like, share, comment, definitely subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna be doing videos of both the events I'm doing and also some local events. If you are looking to purchase any of the gear that I'm using, I will have links down in the description. Those are Amazon links. If you click on that link, and even if you don't buy the particular item that you're looking for, but you leave that link open and buy something else, I still get part of that profit. So every little bit helps the channel. Last but not least, click on one of the boxes in the video. One will take you to an archery video, the other one to whatever YouTube thinks you should be watching. And you can click the logo over there, the Urban Outdoorsman SoCal logo, to subscribe. Thanks a lot.